So excited. My name is Uchenna Okere, and I am so excited about this topic. Right now, we are in a very interesting time in history. Right now, is BIM is sort of the new wave of how buildings are getting constructed, and for the first time, we have families that are actually living together in the same live work environment. For the first time, a lot of us are actually forced to work digitally. We haven't been here at all. And in today's discussion, we're going to show you how to actually thrive within this marketplace. So let's get started. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm born and raised in Jersey City. My parents are from Nigeria. I have a bachelor's in architecture from Temple University. I worked at a bunch of firms all over the city and spent time working on multifamily projects and hotels and a little bit of education. Terms of things that I like, I love to cook, love to eat. I have a 2-month-old that my wife and I just had as our first kid, so I'm really excited about that. So I really enjoy spending time with my family. So I actually kind of appreciate where we are in history, because if I was working a quote unquote job or had an office down in Center City, I would not have as much time to spend with my 2-month-old as I do right now. So I'm very excited about that. Now, let's talk about where the state of the industry right now is. And for a lot of you guys who are in the architecture industry, you have to know that it's currently in the middle of its biggest transformation since the introduction of computers. So this is huge, because for the first time, design is getting to a place where it's actually becoming more product-based. Because of the diversity of our owners, the people who own buildings, they want things a little bit faster. They want things a little bit more efficiently. And to give you a really good example of where the industry is today, I'll relate it to, one of the things that I kind of do now that we're all social distancing. I've developed a habit of running a lot in the morning, since I'm not necessarily going to a gym. Running happens to be my least favorite form of cardio, but I have these old beat up running shoes that I've been using, and I know I need to get a new pair. So me as a consumer, what I'll most likely do is I'll go online, order myself a size 11 and a half, choose through all the different options that are available, whether it's Nike, Adidas, Asics, no matter what it is. I'll choose an option, and then I'll have it delivered to me within the next 2 to 3 days. Now, for buildings and architecture, what I probably won't do with my shoes is I won't go to the cobbler. And, not to say that I don't want to do this. It's just, I want shoes probably in the next 2 to 3 days, not like in the next 2-3 weeks. I'm not going to go to the cobbler and put my foot down on a sheet of paper, have that cobbler draw an outline of my foot and build me a custom shoe. And in today's world, that's kind of where architects still are today. The majority of architects right now are still developing custom buildings, which is really the art of architecture and what I loved and what I went to school for. But now in today's world, products are getting they're getting chosen earlier in the design process. So if I'm an owner, I probably just want to go through the options and choose my building in size 11 and a half and get it done within the next couple months. So this is just where the industry is right now. BIM, as a part of that, in order to enable that type of growth, you actually do need building information modeling to accomplish it. Right now, it has an 18.7% growth rate. 80% of projects within the next 10 years will be done using some type of BIM platform. Right now, about 34% of architects are currently using some form of BIM. So about a third of the industry is there. Because of COVID and the pandemic, this has actually sped up dramatically. So this is a figure that we grabbed from last year. We still don't know yet how these numbers will change or how they'll get sped up. Now, you might be wondering where this shift is actually coming from. And, as I said, the industry is moving towards more of a product-based design, where the products that would be typically chosen during fabrication or during construction, contractors who maybe do design build, they actually have the luxury of choosing those products a lot earlier. The reason why we know this is because in the prefabrication world, prefab is actually expected to increase up to 50% in the next 10 years. So in the next 10 years, half of buildings will be prefab, and there'll be a bigger need to coordinate systems within industrial projects, healthcare. I mean, geez, the type of HVAC systems that we need today to block viruses, we're going to need a lot of systems within our buildings, and there's going to be a bigger need to coordinate that intricacy that you see above a ceiling. Also, owners are getting a lot smarter, and they're getting a lot more savvy, and they're figuring out that they want to have a total building product that they can use for facilities management, asset management, or just to streamline future building renovations. So this is where a lot of this shift is coming from, and people are realizing that they need them in order to accomplish this. So in order to step into this industry, like, what are some of the skill sets that you need? Now, if you have a traditional architecture firm, people that maybe went to school for architecture, I went to Temple, so there were a lot of things that I did not learn at Temple, and quite frankly, still maybe aren't being taught today in school. So your average college graduate may not have these skills right now. But the first thing that you do need is something called parametric design or parametric modeling. This is the type of modeling where you sort of input height, width, color, shape, and you input all of these factors into a computer or into the program, and it develops the door or the window, the exact type that you need. And that's what parametrics gives you the ability to do. There's also Dynamo scripting. So Dynamo is sort of a visual programming language for Revit, and all it does is just allows you to write code and perform custom functions. So if you want to automate parts of your construction documentation process, you'll probably do it with some form of Dynamo. Like I said, you'll also need to do some type of BIM model coordination. This actually happens in outside programs that architects don't learn, like Navisworks or maybe BIM 360 Coordinate. There's also 3D laser scanning of existing spaces. The equipment for this is super expensive. Just a single laser scanning machine, the one powerful enough to get a total building, runs about 20 grand. And you have to have a little bit of know-how to understand how to use it to get an accurate reading of a building. There's also generative design. This is really sort of like the new hot wave of things that are coming out right now, because, I think what is scary about where we are right now, but also exciting, is the fact that generative design is allowing designers to spit out iterations faster than was ever possible. So if I have a building footprint and I have a row of unit plans, and let's say I'm doing a multifamily building, I can just type in my unit matrix of how many of each mix I need in my floor plan, and generative design, I can hit a button and it will churn through thousands of iterations. And all I have to do as a designer is just choose the best one. So this is quite interesting. There's 3D visualization. This is the ability for me to actually walk through my building and see what it looks like as if it was a video game. And then these last two, which is data management and data analytics, which is the two things that we need within the construction cycle. We want construction to be faster. We want it to be predictable. We want to be able to save money. Because right now, I believe 30% of construction costs ends up in rework. And it's really because of a lack of data that's happening within the construction level. Now, the type of talent that you'll need to compete, and if you don't have this skill set now within your office, in my opinion, there's two things you could do. You can obviously train the people at your firm to have this type of skill set, or you could probably outsource a lot of these skills. So people that are really skilled at Dynamo, people who are really skilled at scanning buildings, doing BIM coordination, or just extracting data out of a model. I mean, these are really niche skill sets that don't typically exist in the average architecture firm. And you can actually just outsource it. There's really people who would be willing to hop into a building project on a project to project basis. You don't need to hire them full time. They can hop in for a couple hours per week, and perform a lot of these services so that you can stay competitive. So a lot of the competition or staying, ahead is really having the right type of talent. And if it doesn't exist in your office, we'll outsource this because it's a lot easier, especially today, to find people who can hop into a project remotely, and they don't have to actually live in your particular city. As long as that person has a skill set, you can fold them seamlessly into your project team. So now, if we're looking at this and we're being honest, not everyone may make this shift. And, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I always hate to be the bad guy just kind of talking about this stuff. But, the BIM industry, it threatens jobs, like, just if we're being honest about it. And, contractors are a little bit more ahead of the curve than actual architects in this regard. They're realizing that they have an opportunity to actually become the new designers. A really quick stat: design build is projected to grow about 18% by the end of next year. So that means that you'll see a lot more contractors playing as the prime on a project, and just hiring the architect to do the designs while they manage the BIM process from start to finish. You're also kind of face the risk of losing work just for not being diverse enough. So clearly in our industry, and I have a lineup of talks that I'm going to be doing on this because obviously in our country and our industry, diversity is a really big issue, and it's also going to be an issue on two ends: not being technologically diverse and not being also racially diverse. The reason why is because the face of the owner in today's world is changing. You have owners that come from all different backgrounds, and the owners in today's world are also getting younger. They have more requirements. They want to put out a building product that is more in line with the digital age that we're in right now. So as a firm, it's going to be advantageous for you to make a lot of these adjustments. All right. So some of the benefits in my mind, of adapting is just the fact that it allows you to expand your business model as an architecture firm. So thinking about our last slide and just thinking about how construction firms are sort of playing the new designers and leading the process from start, literally from beginning of design all the way to construction and pass off to the owner. I think that architects are just as capable of managing the process from start to finish. Now, if you're in a current contract right now where maybe your owner is requesting that you help them with BIM coordination, or you're more involved in the RFI process, this is going to be tough. But if you are about to enter a new contract, as an architect, you need to get educated in this industry and educate the client on that digital building product that they're going to get in the end. If you can do this successfully, this will allow you to earn more fee throughout the life of the project, because now you can participate in design, you can participate in BIM coordination, or earn more money through responding to RFIs, and also earn more money for helping to facilitate their facilities management and asset management of this BIM model that they're getting in the end. All right. So global forecast, again, this BIM industry, it's going to grow, and it's going to grow by billions in the next few years. Also, you will see a reduction in your overall production time at your office if you can adopt this. I think on average, it reduces just the production by almost a third. If you still have people producing projects in CAD, just know that one person using BIM produces more than 3 people in your office producing CAD. This is a straight up fact. And it may take longer in the beginning of a project to set up like a Revit project or something like that, but you will save time on the back end. This is a bona fide fact. All right. And you also the understanding that 81% of companies indicate that they actually are looking for companies that can do BIM. So this really are some of the things that you're going to need to consider to increase your business model. Now, if you're looking at this and you're like, okay, this was amazing information, but what do I do about it? Like, what can I do next? Well, I own a company called RevitGods, which is a BIM management and consulting firm. And we offer a lot of really great services that can help you transition into this industry. So if you're not there yet, we can help you get there by offering training and maybe building some templates for you. We also offer staffing so that on the go, as needed project support, we can actually provide to help you through your next deadline. We also offer project troubleshooting. We'll help you manage your BIM projects for you. And lastly, like I said, we also offer a lot of training. I really think that there's a lot of skill set that's missing from the typical quote unquote architecture firm that needs to be constantly injected in because this technology is rapidly changing. So that was my 15 minutes. It was such a pleasure hanging out with you guys. I'll hang around for a couple more minutes to take any questions that you guys may have.